Hey guys, welcome back to Angela, and on this topic I wanted to talk about how narcissists have no integrity. Narcissists have no integrity. So sometimes we think to ourselves, right? We do the right thing. When we do the wrong thing, we get caught. It backfires on us, and we wonder, like, why do narcissists get away? Like, they get away with this type of behavior, but if you were to try that shit, it just is not going to go the way you think, right? And that's because the narcissist lacks integrity. They are nothing like you, you know that. They can come off as someone who has integrity and shit like that. They can come off real classy. They could come from money, and they could seem like civilized people. They could go to church every weekend. They could seem like, you know, their image can look squeaky clean to the outside world. And even the outside world is like, you motherfuckers don't have any problems? Like, we all got problems, right? So eventually you start to feel like, you know, when you get around these type of people too, these type of narcissists, it's like you start to feel like there's something unauthentic about the situation. But then you start to feel bad about yourself because you're like, you know what? I wanted to see bad in others, and maybe I want to see bad in others because I'm bad, because I'm evil, because I'm thinking like, you know, I'm going through something, so I want to relate to you, but I can't relate to you because it seems like your life is perfect and everything is fine. And, you know, I wish I could have that. I wish my family can live like this and talk like this with one another and be open and like shit like this really does exist. I thought this shit was fake. So you got some of the most like cunning narcissists that people won't even know they're narcissists because their image is so important to them. And when you start fucking with their image, that shit is serious to them. Why? Because they're the ones giving advice. They're the ones that people go to. They're the ones who control people. So when you're going towards their image, it's seen as, you know, you're going to ruin my life because I have a squeaky clean image, no criminal record, no nothing. I learned from the best. I learned from everyone else, from manipulating everyone else. Like, they're the type of person that they'll get you in some mess, and then you'll realize, like, you don't really know why you even did it in the first place. And you feel like, and they're gone. They left the scene untouched, clean. And then, you know, you're like, what the fuck? You know, like, why do I have to pay the consequences? They got away. And then on top of that, you can't snitch. You're like, that's part of it. You can't tell. So the narcissist is like, when they do stuff to you, abuse you, especially when these people are your family, friends, people close, you know, the closest people to you. This is why when you say anything, the narcissist becomes enraged. They're like, how dare you? You're trying to bring me down. You're trying to tarnish my image, you know. So narcissists, they can pretend to be humble. A lot of them, like I said, a lot of narcissists want to know more about you than you know of them. And the stuff that they share with you is stuff that they've already said to many people, to many supplies. They have a whole story. They have a whole, story of overcoming challenges in life and getting through those challenges. And like, look at me now. It gives you hope. And they'll tell you to do the right thing, right? They'll teach you how to, these people could be people closest to you. They could be people you go into communities, people you go to churches, but they'll start to preach to you about humility, love, forgiveness, always doing the right thing when no one is looking, because that's what we're talking about, right? Always doing the right thing when no one is looking. But it's actually the opposite. So narcissists like to preach to you, how to watch out for bad people. They want to teach you how to have integrity, how to, be a good person and stand in line and things like that. But they're doing the opposite. That's the crazy part. They're doing the opposite. They're doing all kinds of things. They're living in a whole different world. But they feel like, hey, it's safer for you to live in this fantasy world while I exploit you, while I use you, or because I don't have a choice, because I have to make myself look good because of my image. So I might hate you, I might not like you, but I still have to keep this image. And in order for me to put my dirty work out there, I gotta make others do my dirty work. Because sometimes a lot of people deal with narcissists who they're doing all the dirty work. But I've dealt with narcissists that are letting others do the dirty work. They're letting other people blow it out of proportion. And then you're going up to that narcissist like, let me go to the motherfucker that got integrity, that got some common sense, that I know I could talk to, because this motherfucker right here don't make no sense. And you'll go to that person. It seems like they empathize with you, but if you really look back or you pay attention to their facial expressions and the way they're talking, in the moment, because you might be in distress, you might feel like this person has integrity, They're just being professional. They're trying to do what's right. But in another sense, when you go through these situations and you make it out of these situations and you realize what a real person is and what a fake ass person is, and you look back at those people that seemed like they had integrity, it was all a show. Their facial expressions, the way they were talking to you, it was like they were pretending to be a good person. They were acting like, hey, this is what a person with integrity would act like, so let me act like this. But that's not really who they are. And when you get out of those situations where you start to see that a lot of people pretend to have integrity, you realize, because these motherfuckers are animals. They pretend to. This is why they're able to have integrity only around their family and friends and around their culture but they don't have integrity in the real world. They don't have integrity with people they meet. They don't have integrity for real. It's all a front. It's facts. And me seeing this in my own family, right? How people you can see them as everything you've ever known. And they could be looking at you like a stranger. Like, they'll look at you the way they see their coworker or someone they're trying to bring down with hate. But they know you didn't do nothing to them, so they have to remain having that integrity of playing the role, the character that they were given, whether it's your aunt, cousin, a friend, a partner. They're like, I have to keep playing the role even though I lack integrity, even though I really don't like you, even though I'm in a relationship with you because I need something. So I was thinking to myself, right? because I am who I am at all times. It don't matter if it's when I'm with my family, friends, whoever. Like, what you get is what you get. Like, this is who I am at all times. I'm not going to change. I'm not going to mold myself to fit different people's expectations of me. You know, it's not necessarily set in my ways. It's that I know that I'm someone with integrity, meaning that I am who I am at all times. My personality is not going to change. Who I am, you know, behind closed doors, I'm not gonna present myself as being something, or present myself as being humble and so many different things, and then behind closed doors, it's like I don't look out for the people that care about me. I don't look out for, I wouldn't give my last to the people that I love, that so I don't switch up. I don't control people with money. I don't do the weird shit, right? So I would think to myself, like, how people switch up. Yeah, the only thing I will switch up is maybe I won't curse so much, or maybe I won't invade people's space or touch them, or you know, I won't do certain things that I would do with other people out of respect, with the people I'm close to. But as far as integrity and being the same person in all aspects of life, yeah, sometimes you switch it up because you can't treat everyone the same. You can't give everyone the same type of loyalty, and it's nothing to do with loyalty, meaning I'm gonna be loyal to you even though you're fucking wrong, and because I'm on your side. That's where people fuck up. That's what I'm saying when it comes to integrity, meaning that if someone around me does something that's fucked up, or they need to apologize, or I'm going to tell you how it is. Everybody around me, they know I'm going to tell it how it is. And the people that stop talking to me and they're like, I don't really want to tell her what's going on because I already know what she's going to say. I already know because they know it's going to be good advice. They know, or they might feel like they just want to gossip, but they don't care about right and wrong. They have no integrity. So they're like, I don't want to talk to her because she has integrity. It doesn't necessarily mean that because I have integrity, I'm going to judge you, because I really don't care. You do whatever you want to do, but I'm always going to be honest to if you are being blindsided, or you might not understand something. I might give you a different perspective, but at the same time, I let people be themselves, whoever they are, because we all have different realities, and I can't judge anyone for that. So when I say I have integrity, it means I'm not gonna switch how I respect people. It don't matter if you're a prostitute on the street, or a millionaire. I'm gonna give you the same energy, the same. My personality is not gonna change, because who I am in front of you is who I am behind closed doors. And what I try to do is do the right thing. Because if I gotta do the wrong thing, in my reality, I'd rather just not do anything at all. I'd rather just deal with whatever I gotta deal with. But I'm not willing to risk my integrity to go and play somebody, or use somebody, or know I'm making somebody feel bad and I'm just lingering around them, trying to make them feel worse, because I'm very delusional about my expectations about people and life and money, and you feel like these things, these dreams you got will bring you happiness and shit like that, right? And the thing about not having integrity is that you have to put different masks on with people. And eventually you get comfortable with certain people, and you drop the mask, and then those people are shocked because they're like, I didn't even know you were wearing a mask. You done got so comfortable. That's what most narcissists do. They drop that mask. They don't really have that integrity. They'll just drop the mask. And you'll just be baffled, like, because they're aware that you're nothing like them. You know, you're willing to do the right thing when no one's looking. You're aware of when you do the wrong thing. You're aware of when you lose control or something is up. You're able to identify where those emotions or those feelings are coming from. You know, so a narcissist will lack integrity. That's what I realize with a lot of narcissists, is that when they lack integrity and they're putting on different masks for people, because some of them they wear that mask so well that you won't really know until after the fact. And then you'll think back at many different narcissists and people who pretended to have integrity and pretended like they understood, or they knew what was going on. They knew that you were being targeted and they didn't care. And you'll think to them, and you'll think to yourself, they got kids. They got family. They got people they care about. They talk about them all the time. You know, they don't care about, they don't have any integrity to think that their actions can affect your reality, your life, your family, your existence. There's no integrity in these type of people, but they pretend to. They even put themselves in a pedestal and accuse you of being the one with no integrity. And then when they come across people that have integrity, they feel intimidated, because even though you're having a conversation and the conversation seems pleasant, it seems like they have integrity, but you can feel their energy shifting, almost like they're uncomfortable with showing you their fake integrity, because they can tell that your shit is real, that's really you. So then they start to feel like you're playing games with them. And then you had a good conversation with them, but somehow by the end of the conversation, you're the bad guy, and you're like, what did I do wrong? What vibe did I give this person to make them feel uncomfortable? What did I do? Why don't they like me? What did I do for them not to like me? I didn't do nothing. But they'll talk, they don't have no integrity. They act one way in public and one way in private. In public, they were scared of you. In private, they're talking about you. They're saying, oh, I don't like this person, and they're showing who they really are. That the type of person that they are, the person with no integrity. And if they ask, what did that person do? I don't know. I just get uncomfortable around people like that. So now they're showing you that there's no integrity, that they pretend to be, hey, I love everyone. I love everyone. I'm God's child. I go to church. I'm this, I'm that. But in reality, they really have no integrity. There's no integrity in narcissistic people. And you'll actually start to see that it's so many of them. And it's like you live in this world where people will see you as even the bad person or the villain. And you're not even doing anything. You're just having integrity and being yourself. And it's seen as being fake. It's seen as being passive aggressive. Like, and you're thinking, how can it be seen as passive aggressive if you're the one behaving I can say things that you did that were passive aggressive. You can't say that about me. It's just that you don't appreciate real people that got nothing to hide. That has no reason to hurt anyone. You're not doing anything to hurt anyone. You're not when you have integrity, when you have integrity, you're doing the right thing, and the right thing is usually going to be fixing, making things equal, making things even, giving balance. So integrity is having balance. It doesn't mean you're a sucker. It doesn't mean you're to be fucked with. And that's where people get it fucked up, because you're like, oh, they think because you have integrity, you're some type of chump, you're some type of sucker, and that's not the case. You're doing the right thing because that's who you are. That's those are your beliefs, what you stand for. When you're dealing with a narcissist and they have no integrity, they don't stand for anything good. You're dealing with someone who, they're not the same. The image that they give to all the people around them is not who they are behind closed doors. And a lot of these people, you'll never know. They come off well, good, nice. They might seem unproblematic. They might seem like, hey, I keep to myself. We're family oriented, but you don't know the secrets and the shit that went down and the reason why people don't talk to these people. They won't even tell you about the people that don't talk to them, or the things that they've done, or the families that they broke apart. They won't say none of that shit to you. They won't tell you how they got that big ass house they live in with the pool in the backyard and a gang of acres. They won't tell you. They'll make it seem like, oh, that side of the family, they're beggars. They're just always asking for money. They're always doing this. So narcissists will seem like people with integrity, but they'll talk bad about others. They'll talk about others in the nastiest way. And I was thinking this too, because I've dealt with this, where you might be dealing with a group of narcissists. Someone might be an empath. They're going through the same shit as you, but you start to see that this person is moving with a lack of integrity, meaning that they're saying, I'm nothing like the narcissist, but then they're doing certain things that are like the narcissist. So you're trying to tell them, hey, you're doing this, and it's the same shit that they're doing. And even though you're angry and upset, like, you have to have some integrity about yourself. If you say that that's not who you are, if you say I'm nothing like them, you gotta have that some type of integrity. So I've seen people that, like, they're putting the blame on the narcissist, but they're also lacking integrity. So if you tell them, it's certain things that happen during your stage of being angry, and that's understandable. But now let's just say you're close to someone who went through the same thing, because this is what I dealt with. When I dealt with my narcissistic family, and I got close to an aunt who, she was also attacked by the family, right? It was just like every couple of years someone else gets sacrificed type of thing. Every decade someone gets sacrificed type of thing. And because of a greater motive, of course, but that means it was always on their mind. That's why I said they don't have integrity, because you'll think you have a relationship one way with them, or you feel like, oh, it's blood, and you don't even know that they don't even look at you like that. But when we were being attacked by these narcissists, one of the narcissist's children was like, oh, my mom is a narcissist. Like, he came to us using the terminology and telling us what, all the stuff he'd been through and how he been going through it, and just the stuff he was going through. But this aunt or whatever would talk about, I started to feel like her conversations with him was more about putting hate into him because she was angry. And to me, even though I was angry, I have integrity, and I feel like I can't talk about your mom, bad about your mom, with you, even though we both have been attacked by her in a very mental way. We've been abused mentally by her. It's still your mom, so I have enough integrity to say, hey, I can't do certain things because I respect you, and even though you're angry with your mom because of all these things that you feel she's done to you, and you have a narcissistic mother and stuff like that, there's still a level of respect that I gotta give her because she raised you and got you this far in life. And like, your lifestyle, the way you think, even though you might think she didn't do nothing for you, it did do something for you, because you could have been born to a different narcissistic mom and lived a different reality. So I'm trying to let you see the good and the bad, and you can't see the good and the bad because you're angry right now. And I understand you're angry, but I can't put more hate onto you than what you already got. So when I let him know that, he got upset at me. He jumped up at me. He's like, so what are you trying to tell me? You're trying to tell me to forgive my mother? You don't understand. Like, dude, I had to deal with your mother, motherfucker. And she's not even my mother. And she did a lot of shit to me where it's like, it wasn't even legally. She shouldn't even had legally even been able to do these things to me. Where it's technically, to me, it's child abuse because you never had custody over me, and you did some big shit. You know what I'm saying? You did some big shit. You didn't tell my mom about it when you did it, you know, even though that's your sister. You didn't tell her shit. So to me, it's like I felt offended in a sense, because I'm like, this motherfucker jumping up at me, and I'm sitting here like being a real bitch talking to you, even though really, if I was an evil narcissist, I probably would have got information out of you and never talked to you again just to be nosy, because I would have had so much hate for you as I do for your mom if I was a narcissist. But I let you talk. You didn't give a fuck about what I had to say, and then you jumped up at me. But I'm understanding your emotions. I'm understanding your emotions, and because I have integrity, I am who I am behind closed doors. And if I understand the process of healing and all that, I gotta be the bigger person and just take the fucking abuse, nigga, because you just sat here and yelled at my face, you know? So excuse my language, but that's really how I felt, because I just literally had a flash of this grown ass man in my face because he was so mad at his mother. And I'm like, motherfucker, I went through a lot of shit. If not, I went through more shit than you. But I'm not here to compare my shit with you. I went through more shit. I had all them bitches attacking me at once, non-stop, my whole life. And I realized they looked one way to the public's eye, but when I think back, I'm like, them motherfuckers had no integrity, because they did a lot of shit to a child, to a kid. The way they looked down on me when it came to certain things, the way they used me, they had no integrity as some grown ass bitches. They had no integrity because they want their children to get treated one way, but then they did all this shit to me, throwing buckets of cleaning supplies at me like I'm fucking Cinderella. And then you're telling your daughter, oh, you don't have to learn how to cook. You don't have to do that. Oh, I'm gonna get a maid. She's gonna cook, clean. You don't have to do none of that, because when you get married, you know, your husband shouldn't expect you to cook and clean, and you're too good for that. But you're sitting here throwing fucking buckets of fucking cleaning supplies at me. So when he said that, I had to really hold what I was feeling, because I understood it had nothing to do with him, but I also felt like when you're yelling at me, telling me I don't have a fucking clue, I'm looking like, bitch, you don't have a clue. I'm trying to tell you, but it seems like you don't really care about my story either. You know what I'm saying? But I also understand when people are going through it, they're so consumed in their own world that they don't understand that other people, just because I'm calm and I move past a lot of this shit, don't mean that that didn't hurt me, even though I got it together. And the way you're disrespecting me is like, you know, it's like you're making it seem like you don't understand. Like, when people heal and they're not emotional, trust me, I was once emotional like you. So I understood I had to be, you know, the balance in that situation. But I also had to check my aunt. And I was like, when you talk to him, do you talk bad about his mom and you tell her you put more hate onto him? Because you shouldn't do that. I don't like her either, but like, you shouldn't. That's still her kid. And like, what happened with them and what happened with us is two different things, different types of narcissism going on. And all it's doing is building more and more hate. All you can say is, I'm your aunt, I'm here for you, I understand what you went through, and that's it. But don't be sitting here putting, you know, more hate into him. So then she's kind of like, you know, like, oh, I don't put hate into him. I don't even talk about her like that. And I know she was lying, but she was more like, she knew I was checking her. So she was like, you know, she knew she was wrong, basically. But when you have integrity and other people know you have integrity and they respect that you have integrity, because they know that they can trust you with their information and with what they're going through. And they know that anything that you ever do that's connected to them, they know that even if you fall out of the relationship with them, they know you're still going to move with integrity. So a lot of narcissists, they prey on that shit because they know they know that once you realize what they are, you're not going to like wish karma on them. They know you're not going to hunt them down and try to like get even with them, because you have too much integrity and you were hurt because you realized you had integrity towards someone that didn't have integrity towards you, meaning that they acted one way with you and then they acted one way with other people, and then they brought outside sources, that energy they picked up from other people, and they brought that shit back to you, and they wanted you to pay for anything that they were feeling in that moment. They even want you to pay because they had to pretend to be nice all day. So now you gotta pay, and you gotta pay because now they're like, okay, now I can be the real me, because now you gotta pay for the bullshit I had to go through today. Because the narcissists, they have to pretend to have integrity, meaning that they have to come across other narcissists just like them, and they have to be the bigger person. So guess what? When they know they couldn't retaliate and do something to you, some of these narcissists, they might say something smart to you because they know, I'm not gonna be fired. I'm the boss. I'm in charge. The boss trusts me. I got deep connections. So they might say something smart, but they're going to go back to pretending like they have integrity. They're going to say something smart and they're going to go back to pretending like they have integrity. And these type of people are dangerous because how they really wanted to behave, let's just say they're a narcissist that's physically aggressive to a woman at home. They beat their woman, but they have to pretend to have integrity. And you as a woman did something to tick them off, but they knew, I can't do what I know I could do to you. So now that interaction lingers in the narcissist's head for the rest of the remaining day. And guess what? They're going to feel like, oh, I had to pretend to be a good person and have integrity, but the real me is a maniac and I couldn't do anything about it. So now you have to pay for it. Why would someone that didn't do nothing to them have to pay for how they're feeling? So the narcissist doesn't have any integrity because people have to pay for what they're feeling, and people have to constantly give them validation to feel good. So this is why the narcissist is addicted to pretending to be good because it's giving them validation. And this is why some of them, when they take something the wrong way, even if you mean it the wrong way, or they didn't understand a joke you said, they take it really serious, or they feel personally attacked, or you know, and sometimes people say stuff that they just have no business saying, and that's not if someone gets offended by that, you can't get mad that they're offended, that they feel like you disrespected them. But I mean, when you know you didn't say anything wrong and they took it wrong, it's almost like it didn't really matter what you had to say, they were gonna take it wrong. It's someone that doesn't have integrity. They just already from the jump don't like you, don't fuck with you, and they're trying to make it seem, they're trying to gaslight you to believe that you're the one without integrity, and they're trying to put themselves in a victim type of situation. So I hope that this message, you guys, was helpful, and if you guys enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will talk to you guys on the next one. Bye.